Picture this. It's 1887. You're a British factory owner, a master of your craft. For decades, you've built a rock-solid reputation for quality steel, fine furniture, or precision tools. Then one day, you discover something that makes your blood absolutely boil. American companies are putting your name on their junk. They're stamping "Made in Sheffield" on cheap knives made in Connecticut. They're putting "Made in England" on shoddy furniture built in Boston warehouses. They are stealing your life's work, your reputation, and getting filthy rich doing it. So you do the only thing you can think of. You fight back. You force them to tell the truth. You champion a law designed to expose every single American fraud. You make them stamp "Made in America" on everything they sell. It's meant to be a mark of shame, a warning label, a scarlet letter for the whole world to see. But here's the twist you never saw coming. It backfires spectacularly. This is the incredible, untold story of how "Made in America" went from being the biggest insult in global trade to the most powerful brand in the world. And trust me, the real story is wilder than you can imagine. Let me take you back to 1880s America. The country is exploding with growth. Railroads are stretching across the continent, factories are popping up everywhere, and money is flowing like water. But there's one massive problem. Nobody trusts American products. If you walked into a store in New York, Boston, or Chicago in 1885 and saw two nearly identical items, one labeled "Made in France," the other with no label at all, you'd gladly pay double for the French one. Why? Because American made meant it was a cheap knockoff. It was poor quality, it wouldn't last. European goods, on the other hand, they were the gold standard. British steel was legendary, German engineering was unmatched. French luxury was the ultimate status symbol. American manufacturers were furious. They knew their products were getting better, day by day. But that terrible reputation just wouldn't die. So they came up with a plan, a brilliant, audacious, and completely illegal plan. They decided that if they couldn't beat the European reputation, they would simply steal it. Clockmakers in Connecticut started stamping "Swiss-made" on their products. Knife companies got their hands on Sheffield stamps, the name of the legendary British steel town, and put them on their own blades. Furniture makers started carving "Made in England" into American oak. This wasn't just a few shady operators working in the dark. This was a widespread, industry-wide conspiracy. Entire sectors of the American economy were built on this massive lie. And here's the craziest part. It worked perfectly. American consumers, fooled by the prestigious labels, paid premium prices thinking they were buying European luxury. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, European manufacturers watched helplessly as their trusted brand names got slapped onto inferior American copies. The con of the century was in full swing. Until, that is, Britain finally had enough. The British Parliament is absolutely furious. Their manufacturers are losing millions of pounds. Their hard-earned, century-old reputation is being dragged through the mud. Something has to be done. So, in 1887, they pass a landmark piece of legislation, the Merchandise Marks Act. The rule is simple, but its intended effect is devastating. Any product imported into Britain must be clearly and permanently labeled with its true country of origin. No more hiding, no more fake stamps, no more Sheffield lies. If it's made in America, it must say "Made in America." The British are celebrating. They think they've won. They are about to expose every American fraud, humiliate them on the world stage, and completely destroy their export market. Back in the US, American manufacturers are panicking. They lobby Congress. They publish furious editorials. They beg for exceptions and loopholes, but Britain won't budge an inch. The law takes effect, and then something happens that nobody, absolutely nobody, could have predicted. British consumers see these new "Made in America" labels flooding their stores. And instead of avoiding them like the plague, they start buying them. Wait, what? How could this happen? Here's the critical piece of the puzzle that Britain completely missed. American products had gotten better. Much, much better. The quality gap between American and European goods had been closing for years, but the old, negative reputation hadn't caught up with the new reality. Now, forced to be honest, American manufacturers had a brand new pitch. They could say, yes, this product is made in America. But look at the price. It's also half the cost of the British version. And guess what? It works just as well. Suddenly, Made in America didn't mean inferior. It meant value. It meant innovation. It meant modern manufacturing. The very label that Britain created to shame and punish American products became their single best marketing tool. By 1890, American exports to Britain weren't just recovering, they were booming, the ultimate revenge. Plot had backfired in the most spectacular way possible. But the real transformation was just beginning. Then, in 1914, World War I breaks out. The industrial heartlands of Europe are turned into battlefields. Factories are bombed into rubble. Workers are drafted to the front lines. Production across the continent grinds to a halt. So who fills the massive gaping void? America. American factories go into overdrive, churning out everything the world needs. Uniforms, weapons, tools, medicine, canned goods, everything. By the time the war ends in 1980, Made in America doesn't just mean affordable anymore. For millions of people, it means the only option. It means survival. Then comes the roaring 1920s. This is when America truly takes center stage. Henry Ford's assembly line revolutionizes manufacturing for the entire planet. Thomas Edison's light bulbs illuminate the world. Brands like Coca-Cola and Hollywood movies aren't just selling products. They're exporting a lifestyle. Jazz music becomes the global soundtrack of modernity. America isn't just making things anymore. It's making culture, and the Made in America label becomes aspirational. It's cool, it's powerful, it's the future. By the time World War II arrives, the brand is untouchable. American-made bombers help win the war in the skies. American factories rebuild a shattered Europe through the Marshall Plan. American brands like Levi's, General Motors, and IBM dominate the post-war globe. The label that started as a mark of British punishment, a symbol of fraud, is now, without a doubt, the most powerful and respected brand on earth. But as we all know, every empire eventually faces a challenge. And for Made in America, that challenge arrived in the 1970s. Suddenly, Japanese electronics started flooding American stores. Brands like Sony, Panasonic, and in the auto world, Toyota. They were cheaper than American products. And in many cases, they were simply better, more reliable, more innovative. The decline continued through the 80s and 90s. Manufacturing jobs, the bedrock of the American middle class, began to disappear overseas to places like China, Mexico, and Vietnam, where labor was cheaper. American factories, once the pride of the nation, closed their doors. Entire towns and communities that depended on them died. The Made in America label stopped being an ironclad guarantee of quality or even origin. Companies started using loopholes, technicalities, and fine print. A product could be assembled in the USA with parts from a dozen other countries and still carry that coveted label. The golden age was officially over, which brings us to today. In a strange twist of history, we're almost back where we started. Just like the shoppers in the 1880s, consumers today are looking at labels and asking, can I really trust this? What does this actually mean? Just like Britain did back in 1887, people are demanding proof, transparency, and truth. Made in America is once again a battlefield, a contested space between image and reality. Some companies still try to fake it. Some fight tooth and nail to earn it, keeping their entire supply chain on US soil. But most are somewhere in between. The label that was born from an international fraud, elevated by 2 world wars, and complicated by globalization, now faces its biggest test yet. In the 21st century, does Made in America still mean anything at all? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and if you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the hidden histories that shape our world.